But what was you were saying? Something that you think is the next untapped thing of atheism or something?
Yeah, it's something I'm going to really hit on tomorrow's show. Is and I want to really have a nice discussion about it. Is that I really believe that the emotional side of theism is something that's really not addressed by most atheists. Is that you get this false sense of superiority from a lot of atheists who think that because they have the intellectual upper hand, that somehow that they're superior, but they're not recognizing that it's a very much an emotional discussion for them. It's essentially saying, it's like telling someone that their mother hated them. A theist has an intimate relationship with their God. They have an intimate relationship with each other. They pray together. That's an intimate thing. They take sacrament together. That's an intimate thing. They worship the same God together. That's an intimate thing. Their relationship with their God is intimate. Their relationship with each other is intimate. There's Mr. Gone.
Whoa.
and what have you. And I think that too many...
So, Rook, what was the point you were trying to ask Jake about?
I was just going to say that I think in the same way, emotionalism and said the same thing about, you said intellectualism being like a false sense of intellectual superiority. I think that in a sense is also part of emotionalism as well on the atheist side.
Absolutely.
But in the same way, because I'm a victim of the same thing. I'll sit there and say, Brian likes to call it, I like too much penis. He says, I'll sit there and be like, Greek, I know.
You want everybody on YouTube to know this?
I really don't give a shit.
Here's the deal. Yeah, I basically say, I think sometimes Rook gets a little kind of like wants to show off his, his manhood.
7-inch dick.
And so he, maybe will be a little too harsh on someone. Or, you know what I noticed? You know what it is, Rook? And I bet a lot of people do this online. And this is this is shitty that you're the subject, but oh well. I think a lot of people, they don't treat other people online the way they would treat people in real life.
Right, exactly.
And I think that that's the easiest way to sum up. It's a shame that you make a couple of posts on the board that are nothing like how you would interact with that person if you were talking to them in real life.
That's true.
And I think that's the best way to sum up anybody really who's online acting like an a-hole. Obviously there are a-holes out there. The thing is, you're not an a-hole.
Well, I know.
But somebody who read 5 posts of yours, I could piece together 5 posts of yours. And anybody who didn't say that you were an asshole from that, would be missing the posts.
Right.
But you're not an asshole.
Right.
So I
always say up front, I'm an honest person. I'll say, I can be obnoxious sometimes, and that's just me. It's like Jake was saying, it's an emotional reaction. Really, is what it is. Like I feel like I'm being insulted intellectually by somebody's ignorance, and when they have no desire to look up something, information, I'm not, a basic example, mythicism, for example. Paul, using Paul all the time to prove that Christ existed. All you have to do is read the book to realize it's talking about a totally different Christ than what's in the Gospels, right? So when people don't, if they bring up he talks about Jesus, he knew Jesus, I'm like, have you ever read Galatians?
Well, what is it? Do you think you just take it personally, too personally?
Well, I take it personally. I'm not necessarily mad at them either. It's also the people that tell them these things.
I'll give you a good example. Like the other day, the guy posted the 3 pictures. The guy posts 3 pictures on our website. Okay.
You was telling me about that, right?
He posts 3 pictures. They're really bad. They're like the arguments that giants lived, before. So they were 2 were fake, and 1 was a forge, and another one was something to explain some other manner, and there was valid explanations for all these images.
Right.
Well, and the guy was getting pwned. People were like, "This is the link to that. This is how you were wrong on this point." Rook comes in and just "Dude, you're a complete failure. You're dumb," or something like that.
I said ban for stupidity. You have to have a
he banned the guy for stupidity, and you're dumb. And it was that's not how you would act in real life if you were interacting with that guy.
No.
If you were interacting with that guy in real life, you'd probably be "Dude, seriously, you're acting like an idiot here. These things are all debunkable." But and that's how the approach I think that you should take online. And there's probably a shitload of people listening right now that make comments in YouTube videos and make comments on message boards that do not act anything like what they are in real life. I mean, be genuine online.
They run their mouths like bitches.
Yeah, everybody's got a 10-foot penis online. But come on now, let's try to get a little real.
A lot of people that are critical of me online, they would not say the same thing to me to my face. You know what I'm saying? They would not stand there and say the same thing to me to my face because A, they wouldn't either have the balls to do it, or C, you know, they'd know I'd knock the shit out of them.
Yeah, he would.
You know?
And
It all goes back to it's an emotional issue. You know, and there's emotions on both sides. There's atheists that get stuck in the hate stage of leaving their theism. You know, I think there's certain stages that a theist goes through when he becomes an atheist. When an atheist is losing their theism.
Yeah, they realize they've been lied to.
Yeah, one of those stages is anger, and some people get past it. Some people don't. Some atheists get really stuck in that anger stage, and they can't get past it. And it's no different than the theist, who, even though presented with every solid argument for the non-existence of their God, refuses to accept it and to believe it for the same emotional reasons that an atheist who finds out that there's no God gets angry and gets stuck in that. It's the same principle. It's the same thing going on.
Right. Like God's trying to hide from the camera. He's like, I'm not going out there.
Yo, go on.
What? I'm not contributing anything. Mr. Gone. There it is.
Vaughn, a.k.a. Mr. Gone.
See, I don't even need to say nothing. I don't need to be on camera.
All right, well, that'll wrap up this discussion. We're getting ready to head to the atheist meetup.